The girl who found her light, Lena was a quiet, thoughtful girl with a heart full of dreams. But at school, she felt invisible or worse, like a target. The other kids would whisper about her, call her names, and sometimes even laugh when she walked by. No matter how hard she tried to ignore them, the words clung to her like shadows, making her feel small and unworthy. She stopped raising her hand in class, even when she knew the answer. She stopped drawing in her notebook, afraid someone would mock her art. She even stopped looking in the mirror because all she could hear were their cruel words echoing in her mind. One day, after a particularly hard afternoon at school, Lena ran home with tears in her eyes. Her grandmother, who always seemed to understand without words, found her curled up on the couch. She sat beside Lena and gently took her hand. "My sweet girl," her grandmother said, "do you know what happens when you believe in the words of others?" Lena shook her head. Her grandmother smiled and reached for a small box. Inside was an old, delicate mirror. She handed it to Lena and said, "Look closely and tell me what you see." Lena hesitated but finally lifted the mirror to her face. "I see me," she whispered. Her grandmother nodded. "Now, let me ask you, do you see the names they call you? The laughter, the whispers?" Lena frowned. "No." "Exactly," her grandmother said. "Because none of those things are truly you. You are not their words, you are not their opinions, you are you, and that is enough." Something shifted in Lena's heart. She had spent so much time believing what others said about her that she had forgotten to believe in herself. That night, for the first time in a long time, Lena picked up her sketchbook and drew. She let her pencil dance across the page, pouring her emotions into every stroke. It felt like magic, like freedom. The next day at school, she walked a little taller. When someone whispered something cruel, she remembered her grandmother's words and smiled to herself. She knew who she was, and no one could take that away from her. Lena's confidence grew with each passing day. She started answering questions in class, sharing her drawings with those who appreciated them, and standing up for herself when needed. She even made a few real friends, people who saw her for who she truly was. The voices of the bullies became quieter, not because they stopped talking, but because Lena stopped listening. And so, Lena found her light not in the approval of others, but in the love she gave to herself.